It's time to rev up your engines. America's Car Show with Tom Torbjornsen is on the air on WBBZ TV. Brought to you by the AAA of Western and Central New York. Get the AAA guarantee at all Western New York Car Care Plus locations. By NAPA Auto Parts. Get NAPA know-how. And by Dunn Tire. Service you deserve from professionals you trust at Dunn Tire. Now, here's Tom Torbjornsen.
Hi, I'm Tom Torbjornsen, and welcome to the source of all things automotive. This is America's Car Show. On next week's show, the auto show was recently held in Buffalo. We'll catch up with my friend Dr. Z, but hold on tight for a Hemi-powered pickup ride.
So we're back out at Town Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm here with Dave Loft again. Dave?
Good to see you, Tom.
It's good to see you, too. You know, one of the big stories this year is the Rams. Sure. Ram has become its own brand under the Chrysler umbrella.
Correct, yeah. Ram's actually its own entity now.
Now it's just the plain Ram.
Correct.
1500, 25, or whatever you happen to be driving, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Now, we've got a very nice one sitting here. As we're looking at this vehicle, I think I'd like to go around to the front and just show the people that Hemi engine. Could you pop that hood for us, please? Okay. So we've got a 5.7-liter Hemi.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, what kind of horsepower rating does this vehicle have?
This is actually going to pump out 395 ponies for you.
Nice.
It also has 407 pounds of torque for you and a towing capacity of 7,200 pounds.
Definitely what you need in order to get it done. Now, I bet you probably wonder to yourself whenever you hear that word. Tell us.
Hemi actually stands for hemispherical combustion.
Now, what you're dealing with there on hemispherical combustion, it's a design of a cylinder head that causes a swirling pattern to take place of the air-fuel mixture when it goes into the combustion chamber, creating a more perfect mix of air and fuel for combustion, right?
That's correct, Tom.
You know, so you get a much more complete and even burn of that piston going down. Now, let's move around. We'll have to close that later. To the driver's cabin here. And as I look at the side of the truck, I mean, it exudes muscle.
Exactly. It's a very beefy looking truck. I mean, right from the rims to everything, you have 20-inch chrome clads on this one. Your side step here is actually everything from the factory to make it more aerodynamic and more efficient for the driver.
Oh, I like that. The dash lights, they come on.
Yeah, the dash is actually completely new for 2013. It's a minor refresh on the actual dash, and then when you look at the new radio and everything that's going to be in here, it's a lot more user-friendly, and it's a very attractive unit in this.
Now, this is what I like about it, as I love the crew cab. Look at that.
This being the size it is, I mean, you have plenty of room for whether you have kids or, I mean, if this just turns into your family vehicle, you have plenty of room. And then actually, if you, this back seat will actually totally lift right up for you.
Nice.
And you have plenty of room to store whatever you want.
Oh, and it's got compartments to store stuff.
Absolutely.
I love it. Any new innovative things they did with the bed area on this truck this year?
Everything as far as the bed's actually a carryover from last year. But even if you'll notice where the bed meets the cab, we actually have rubbering there to actually prevent a cyclone that actually goes into the bed. So if you have leaves or something light in the bed, due to that design, it's not going to lift anything out.
Sweet. Another thing I like too is that they make these tailgates are so easy. I mean, I can here, a couple fingers to close it. Just nothing to it.
The tailgates are a lot lighter. I mean, even going back a couple years, they've really dropped the weight. Makes it a lot easier for anyone to pick up, whether it's your wife or whomever. And then if you look at the back of the truck, I mean, you have your integrated wiring right into the back of the truck here. You have your tow receiver there, and then integrated dual exhaust on the back of the truck, which just gives it that aggressive look for you.
Nice. Well, I got to tell you, I'm itching. I got to get behind the wheel of one of these puppies. Let's go for a ride.
Let's do it, Tom.
be nice. Wow, what a nice truck. I gotta say, I really like the feel of them. You know?
You're going to be impressed with its not only its turning radius and the horsepower and torque, but just the ride comfort is very, very smooth.
Yeah, it is. It's car-like almost. Wow, I mean, the torque factor is incredible. Now, let's see, I gotta figure out what this is. Oh, okay. Right. This, ladies and gentlemen, this little shifter jobby right here, this little button, this will enable me to play Zoom Zoom. I can race. Okay, I'm in first gear now, right? All right. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh, what a quaint little town. Oh, I almost drove across that thing. It looks like part of the road.
You wouldn't be the first guy to do it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I could see if someone were under the affluence of alcohol and not as drank as Steeple Peak, they might drive through that area. Oh, Torbjornsen, you're sick. Yes, I know. I like the stiffness of the steering. You know, typically on a truck, and it's a four-wheel drive, typically, days gone by, they were just kind of loosey-goosey and slushy, if you know what I mean. You had to keep correcting the steering on them. Not the case with this. All right. Just like that, parking a Ram 1500 like nothing. I like that, David.
It's impressive.
I like it. I want this truck. I need this truck. I gotta have it! Excuse me. Well, I gotta tell you, David, this truck truly lives up to its reputation of being the Ram.
It does. It was a pleasure, Tom. Thank you.
As always, Tom Torbjornsen on location at Town Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram. So, this is our NAPA Car Care Minute. Tom Torbjornsen here. I'm going to show you a little bit about brakes and why we replace them, what causes them to squeal, etc. Now, what we have here is we have a set of brand new brake pads, okay? See the thickness of the friction material? All right, and then you've got this little baby right here. This is called a squealer. And what happens is when the brake pad gets down to a certain point, this squealer makes contact with the rotor, and that's what you're hearing when your brakes are squealing. If you drive it beyond that point, now you're going to get into the metal and you're going to start grinding. Now, why did we replace these brakes? Because this is what came off of the car. Look how thin those are. Here's another one. Look at that. Extremely thin. Now, if you notice, these are a little bit thicker than the outboard pads, and the reason why is because the brake caliper was sticking. It had corrosion, and consequently, they had to clean up the slides, get everything lubricated, and get it moving again. I'm Tom Torbjornsen with your NAPA Car Care Minute.
And welcome back to America's Car Show. I'm Tom Torbjornsen with your automotive news in the rear view. The technology that cars have just keeps getting more and more amazing by the day. But is it a good thing? The Infiniti Q50 sedan will be one of the first vehicles to have steer-by-wire system, using a digital signal rather than a mechanical linkage to transmit steering information from the steering wheel to the front wheels. Infiniti says this steer-by-wire system can communicate road conditions more quickly to the vehicle's safety system and give drivers the ability to select the kind of steering feel they want. All causes me to pause and think. No mechanical linkage to the wheels? I'm not sure I like that, but the Batman and I hope to put one of those Infinitis to the test sometime and check it out. Here's another recall from the news desk, this time from Chrysler. Chrysler is recalling over 27,000 pickups and SUVs because of a potentially dangerous rear axle problem. Seems the axle pinion nut may have been assembled without an adhesive patch. The nut could loosen over time and cause the axle to lock up, making it difficult to control. Here are the models impacted. The 09 to 12 Ram 1500 pickups, the 09 to 11 Dodge Dakota, and 09 Chrysler Aspen and Dodge Durango SUVs. Chrysler reports that there have been 15 reported accidents, but no injuries tied to the problem. Chrysler will be notifying owners, and dealers will install a retainer to fix the problem. And finally, more car buyers than ever before are purchasing a service contract to cover the cost of repairing their ride. Why, you may ask? Well, these contracts are becoming more popular as car repair costs rise. Did you know that today's automobile is made up of over 10,000 components? But the standard powertrain warranty covers only a fraction of them. The average new car has over 20 computers, controlling everything from fuel injection to anti-lock brakes and airbags. Labor costs can run as high as $250 an hour, which is why the service contracts offer value and some peace of mind long after the warranty has expired. Hey, if you got a question about a news story, contact me at tom@americascarshow.com.
Okay, coming to you from the Buffalo International Auto Show, and I've got the A-team here. I've got my AAA guys all lined up. Of course, you know Dr. Z. Doc?
Tom, how you doing? Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Awesome to be here.
Who do we have here?
What we have is we have Jerry Hooven. He's the director of all automotive for AAA. And then we have Joe McLaughlin. He is the vice president of information technology for AAA. Then we have Wally Smith, who is head of human resources as well as media.
Jerry, tell us about what you do.
Tom, I take care of the emergency road service operations for AAA. It's what people really know us for. It's our core service. Anytime anybody breaks down, we're there to help them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Outstanding. I'll tell you, you got a fantastic program going on there. Members can call and anytime, doesn't matter, 24 hours.
We're there. One of the new things that we're doing is we sell batteries on the road. So regardless if anybody has a breakdown or not, we're there to help them with that too. We do free testing, battery replacement, wherever, whenever people need it. We're there all the time.
Right on the road, right on the roadside.
Absolutely. Mobile service 24 hours a day.
Thanks. Okay, that's Jerry. Okay, Joe, what do you do?
I do two things. I run the IT department, which keeps all the technology in place for Jerry and his group, and also the call center that takes all the calls that go to Jerry's team for people that are in trouble out on the road.
Now, approximately how many members do you have?
We have about 840,000 members.
And you got to make sure all those calls get to the right people.
We absolutely do.
I would not want your job, sir.
Well, it's okay. You can't have it.
And, of course, Wally Smith. Wally.
Tom.
What do you got going on? What do you do?
Well, I oversee human resources and our training department and also public affairs. So I do all those, and I keep these guys staffed with people.
Okay.
Because it's all about business, it's people, isn't it?
That's right.
So
that's exactly right.
We have some great people at AAA, and we're proud of them.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the A-team, ladies and gentlemen. From the Buffalo International Auto Show, I'm Tom Torbjornsen. Okay, now, another major operation that's done in machine shops is cylinder head work. And Tom Battaglia has brought us over to the cylinder head area here in the machine shop at NAPA on Worley Drive. What do you got here, Tom?
Well, this is a head out of a little Chevy Aveo that the timing belt broke.
Okay.
And when the timing belt breaks, bad things happen. You have a nice straight valve like this.
Right.
The piston hits it, it ends up
Like that.
like that.
There you go.
So,
Oh, yeah, look at that. Boy, hammered it right there. Look at that thing.
yeah.
Put a hole in the piston?
No, usually not. The stems here now on these modern engines are so light. These are usually give, and it just smushes it, and we do the head, and away they go.
Yeah, we used to call it in the old days ventilating a piston when you blow a hole in the top of it.
Yeah, no holes get blown in the pistons.
No, not anymore. Okay, so you got a valve face, which is on the valve itself,
Correct?
and then you have a seat that it seals in,
Correct.
or two.
In this case, yeah, there's 4 valves in each cylinder on this head. And we will grind the valve, and we will grind the seat so they're perfect, and we vacuum test them to make sure that they hold. And we have 2 different ways of grinding. We can actually grind it with a stone. It's kind of old school.
Yes, it is.
Works very well. Or we also have a cutter, which
very
sometimes
nice.
we will use. When you get these little guys like this, you don't have room for the stone sometimes, so we have to fall back on this little cutting tool. These are little carbide bits, and they do a real nice job on this. And when we're done cutting these things to match perfectly, we will put vacuum to the hole here on this side where this is actually the intake where your gas would go in.
Right.
And make sure that that's sealing 100%.
I like that. Now, one of the things that I ran across years ago when I was doing this work was with the cars that ran leaded gas, and unleaded gas came along. You started using unleaded gas. What did you have to do to modify the cylinder heads so that they didn't burn up the valve seats?
Well, what we do is this, and the older cast iron, say like an old Chevy or Oldsmobile from the old days, is just cast. It's part of the casting. It's one piece.
Right.
So consequently, it's soft. It's only as hard as the metal that the thing is made of. Now this head is made of aluminum, so you have little inserts in here that are hardened, and that's actually what we do to the older head. Is we will cut this area away and put an insert in there, which I can show you.
And that insert that you're talking about is hardened steel.
Correct. The insert would look something like this. Of course, now it wouldn't fit in that head. This is kind of big.
Right.
But an old V8, this would work. You have to cut within 0.02 of an inch, and then this is forced into the hole.
Gotcha.
That's what you call press fit. And this is hardened nickel steel, so unleaded gas,
Can't touch it.
you're good to go. Right.
Good, good. Outstanding. Outstanding. Okay, so we've covered the valve job. Let's see. We have a cylinder head being refaced over here.
Right. What you do there is a lot of times if you'll have corrosion on the surface, or if the vehicle is overheated, or just if we're rebuilding, we resurface every head. To get a perfect seal for your head gasket, this surface will have to be recut, and that's what that machine does.
Okay. Now, please tell the people that are watching, don't overheat your new car that probably has an aluminum head. For what reason?
You don't want to overheat any car.
That's true.
You see that light go on or that gauge go up, I don't care where you're going or what you're doing, you should pull over in a safe spot and let it cool down, call for help, whatever. If it cools down enough that you can drive it again, fine. When you see the light go on again, stop, because you do more damage. You keep me working, but you do a lot of damage. It's very expensive. You want to stop.
Outstanding.
No matter what.
Tom Battaglia, foreman of shop foreman here at NAPA Machine Shop on Worley Drive. Thanks so much for your time.
Hey, you are very welcome. Thank you.
On location at NAPA Worley Drive, I'm Tom Torbjornsen for America's Car Show. And welcome back to America's Car Show. I'm Tom Torbjornsen. Well, it's that time in the show where you and I get to bond. You ask your questions, I give you the answers. Let's see what's in the mailbag. Matt from Darien Center writes, I have an 02 Grand Cherokee with 204,000 miles on it. Wow, that's great, Matt. It has a problem starting once the engine is warm. It has a new starter, coil, plugs, wires, distributor, and rotor, but still has the same problem. Could a bad EGR valve cause the problem? Well, Matt, I tell you, the parts guy must love to see you walk into his store. You're a major investor there. Assure safe sale every single time. First order of business, stop changing parts. Define to me exactly what you mean by hard starting. Does it crank slow? Does it crank but not fire? If it cranks okay, you got one of these reasons for no start condition. No air or a vacuum leak, incorrect or no fuel feed, or no spark. And not necessarily in that order. Scan the system to see if the ignition system is failing. Make sure you have fuel pressure and volume. Finally, check for vacuum leaks or a blocked airway, which includes the possibility of internal engine problems. Because if a piston ring breaks, it could cause a loss of vacuum and suction into the engine. Once you get answers to these questions, you can then proceed with the repair in an informed and fiscally responsible fashion. Stop buying parts. Test first. Next up, Greg from Lancaster writes, I have a question regarding my 2011 Nissan Maxima with 36,000 miles on it. I'm the original owner and plan on keeping this car for over 200,000 miles. When servicing the automatic transmission, what would you do? Would you drop the pan and replace the filter, flush the trans only, or both? Thanks for the advice. Greg, this car has a constantly variable transmission in it, CVT. Nissan recommends that you simply keep an eye on the fluid condition. There's no specified drain interval. If you find the fluid turning a dark color, then get it to a transmission expert because there's a problem with the unit. Hey, if you got a car question, send it to me online at tom@americascarshow.com. Thanks for watching and keep rolling.